everyone. Welcome to my review of Married at First Sight, Season 15, Episode 6. And this review is going to be for Nate and Stacia. If you're new to my channel, welcome, welcome, welcome. If you've here before, welcome back. And just a few things today. Normally, you guys know I do separate videos on every couple, and I typically upload them all at once. But if you're here early, thank you for being one of the early people to review my video and like it, subscribe. But I am going to be uploading videos for all the couples as I go along today, but I'm not just doing it all at once. So at the end of this video, if I have uploaded another video, there will be a link at the end of the video. If you don't see a link, that means I ain't got it up yet. Today is pretty wild for me, but I didn't want to wait till tonight to upload this video because let me tell you, this episode had a lot going on. I know people are trying to say this season is boring, but I don't think it's boring at all. I am actually finding these couples very, very interesting. And that's because I'm actually a person who I like to look deeper than the surface. So if you're just looking at the surface, maybe you think it's boring compared to last year because you didn't have crazy Alyssa on the screen. But these couples, let me tell you, there was a lot going on in this episode and this video of Married at First Sight, especially with Stacia and Nate. Stacia said to them people today, don't mess with my man. That's exactly what she said. And if y'all didn't read that, you ain't looking deep enough into the episode. Because Stacia said, don't mess with my man. Don't come for me unless I send for you. And she came for Miguel and Lindy in this episode. You know, I also want to take it back because I want to talk about my first impression of Nate versus where I am. My very, very, very first video of Nate, I told you, I was like, I don't trust Nate. Anybody that sells fake Louis Vuitton, I don't trust him. He's a con man. I don't know, but what I did know is I said, you know what, I'm not too worried because Stacia's from Linwood, California. Like you all know, I'm from Cali. And I said, she's hip on game. So if he is trying to pull some game on her, I ain't really got nothing to be worried about because she's not some naive woman out here. She'll sniff it out. So that wasn't too worried, but I did believe, you know what, a man that sells fake Louis Vuittons, I didn't believe him. I already knew Stacia was the real deal. She's the real deal from head to toe, y'all. When women talk about being certain women, boss women out here, Stacia really is that woman. She really does have it all together in terms of her financial end of it and her career. Now we finding out there's some stuff internally, like all of us, there's some stuff that's jumbled up in there with her. But on the exterior, she's got it all on the exterior. She's got the looks. She's got the brain, she's got the education, she's got the financial, she's got all that. So she is really the package when it comes to that part of stuff. But there's some internal stuff that she even talks about that she's struggling with that doesn't make her feel as confident. But I want to get back to Nate for a second. I'm starting to wonder, is Nate really a con man? Like I said in the press video, I don't think he is anymore, y'all. Because if he is, he's a horrible one. One of the things about Nate is, to be honest with you, he's actually pretty transparent. And a thing about a con man, they're not transparent like this. They make you go searching for the real and the answers. Nate actually puts all his stuff out there up front, and you actually don't have to go looking for it. Now, you may look at it because you're like, do you believe what he's put up front? Maybe it takes you aback. But the one thing I can say about Nate is he has been transparent. Let me tell you why I'm saying he has been transparent. First of all, he told us he sold them fake Louis Vuitton bags, okay? Most people would have never told us that story. So he actually was upfront and honest and told the producers and us that he sold fake Louis Vuitton bags. The other thing that he did was he told the mother and the sister from the very beginning he had a bankruptcy. He told them from the very beginning, I'm gonna have a video on Morgan and Ben, but now we finding out people are hiding way more than what Nate hid. Now we find out all these people with all this student loan debt, Lindy, that's why she's embarrassed. But you have Nate, who was pretty upfront and honest and said, you know what, I have a bankruptcy. That is a big deal to say on TV. And the other thing, Nate didn't try to hide who he was at that striptease show. It reminds me also like Elijah one last year when he was buck wild in the striptease show and it made us think about him in a certain kind of way, that he's a player. What it also tell you though, when men are doing that, it also tells you they're not afraid to hide of who they are and what they like. And one thing Nate did at that striptease show was he wasn't trying to put on airs. He wasn't trying to believe. He wasn't liking what was going on. He joined in on the fun. He wasn't trying to act one way, but really know in the background he's a whole nother person. So that was another area that, although we may not have liked it or someone may not have liked it, it was pretty transparent, open, and honest. You remember when Nate ran into that hotel room and he was running and jumping like a little 5-year-old kid, and he ran into that jacuzzi tub and hopped in there with his shoes on like he had never been in no jacuzzi tub? That's another area where I say, wow, this is different. This is this man showing full-on enthusiasm. And in some ways I thought, hasn't he ever been in a jacuzzi tub? I thought when I looked at it, I said, wow, I guess he ain't never really been nowhere. But you know what? That's another real authentic moment. He wasn't trying to put on airs. He wasn't trying to pretend like he's used to the high life. He was full-on enthusiastic, like saying, we up in here. And to me, that was another area of transparency that at first I overlooked, but now I'm coming back and I'm looking at all these moments, and it's also making me feel really comfortable that I don't think Nate is a con man. I think he is open and honest and upfront. You know, Mitch is on the after party, and Keisha and I pulled him, asked Mitch, do you think Nate is being fake or inauthentic? And you know what Mitch said? Mitch actually said what I was starting to get to. Go believe I'm actually agreeing with Mitch the Itch. But Mitch the Itch said, you know what? I don't think that you could call him fake or inauthentic, because actually he's being honest about it. He's saying that he's flamboyant and he wants a good look woman on his arm, and he wants to look good out here, and he wants to be a power couple. He said actually what he's doing is he's actually telling you exactly what he wants. And so all these people are all up in arms over the fact that he's out here taking IG and he's taking pictures and he's taking video. Nate is collecting video footage that all y'all gonna be watching after they go public with their IG. All y'all gonna be subscribing and all y'all gonna be watching the video footage and stuff from these honeymoons and stuff, because Nate gonna have a full treasure chest, because he's been documenting everything, because he's gonna want to be on camera. He's maybe gonna want to be IG, and he gonna want some followers, and he gonna build a business, and he's gonna be endorsing products. Nate is pretty upfront and honest about maybe what he's about to be doing. Now, if you don't like that, that's one thing. It's okay to say you don't like that, but to say that he's being fake and inauthentic, I'm not quite sure that is the thing that you can say about him. You may not like his flamboyance. You may not like that he may be somewhat superficial, or some people may even think that he's a little bit immature. You may not like those things, but I'm not quite sure we can call him fake, inauthentic, and dishonest like them Louis Vuitton bags he was selling. In fact, did he try to tell them people them Louis Vuitton bags were real or fake? Because that makes a difference. If he was like, these are some fake bags, but you can buy them for a discount, that's a whole lot different than going around lying to people and telling them they're real bags, but I'm gonna sell it to you at a discount. When they were sitting on that picnic, one thing Nate said was, Nate told Stacia, you know what, I'm happy you planned this picnic for us. It's beautiful, it's wonderful. I don't like these spiders. But you know what he said? He says, I'm simple and not extravagant, and you don't need to do all this to please me. I'm a very simple person. And that may throw a lot of people off, because people may not believe in he's so simple. But when you add up everything else, I think Nate is simple. You know, he said yes to that prenup really, really easily. Even in this episode, when Stacia started talking about going to therapy to have counseling, at first, he said, oh, I don't know, do we need to do that before? Do we do it when someone, something's wrong with the relationship? And Stacia said, I think very correctly, hey, therapy can be preemptive, and sometimes you do it when things are going well, so that way when you get to the rough spots, it's easier to deal with. He listened intently. He said, you know what, I'm with that. I could try that. He was really open to the idea. I don't think he was just saying it to just yes Stacia to death. I think that he's actually an open person, and he's willing to try new things. Another reason I'm not for sure he's a real player or a con man is because he brought that Megan to the reception. I don't know if that's going to come up again, but player 101 would be to keep your women separate. And the fact that Nate showed up with that woman, I would always say, wow, what kind of player would do that? What kind of player would bring his wife to the wedding with a girl that he slept with? Maybe a naive player or a person who's transparent and really doesn't want to hide anything and is thinking, oh, ain't nothing wrong with it, but something could be wrong with it. We still don't know the whole story with Megan. I was one of the ones that thought, oh, there's got to be something going on there. Like, for sure, she was into Nate. I still don't know if Nate was ever into her or if Nate has ever had anything to do with her. But the fact that she was at that wedding and she has those feelings inside for Nate, because I know they're in there, that also told me something about Nate. That's another level of transparency and not hiding stuff, that it may look odd in the beginning, but it starts to make a little bit more sense to what I'm believing who this Nate really is. The truth of the matter is, if we look at who might be hiding a little bit, it actually might be Stacia, because one of the things on this episode that I saw, Stacia started getting really, really nervous. She was doing a lot of crying, especially for a girl who says she never cries. Stacia has cried almost every episode, so this is a first for her too. I think Stacia is starting to get worried about when that other Stacia comes out. You know, the one, the boss lady, the one that holds people accountable, the one that corrects people, the one that came out at that dinner table in this episode. Because that Stacia that peeked through right before that mariachi band came through, that's the Stacia we was warned about. And she was about to cut into Miguel and Lindy real quick. And they were actually saved by that mariachi band. But Stacia was about to light into Miguel, because you know what it stemmed from? It stemmed from when Lindy came for Nate. Lindy came from Nate when she started talking about what Miguel said. First of all, you shouldn't be repeating something that somebody else said. Unless you saying it, you should keep your mouth closed. So I didn't like that about Lindy. Even though I was liking Lindy before, I didn't like that about Lindy this episode. She shouldn't have been the mouthpiece for Miguel, especially when it was something so negative. She should have let Miguel say his own negative stuff. She shouldn't have been chiming in. But I think she said it because she was hurt when Stacia asked her, did you sleep with Miguel out of pressure from Miguel, or is it something that you really wanted? And I think Lindy took offense to it. Lindy was hurt by Stacia questioning that. And in the end, she was like, well, let me flip this script. You talking about my husband pressuring me. What about your husband? He's fake. That's why Lindy pulled out that little dagger on Nate. It was a dagger, y'all. She might have said it and smiling like she's all nice and innocent, but it was a dagger. And Stacia said, I already peeped it out. You don't need to tell me and warn me about nothing I don't already see. Stacia basically said, I got it handled. I'm going to figure it out. Because Stacia had already been looking at it just like I'm looking at it, you looking at it, and everybody else is looking at it. Stacia was like, you don't need to tell me nothing. But Stacia gave that woman a look like, this is who you are? I know who you are. So at that dinner table, Stacia was like, okay, Miguel, well, who are you? You so busy over here wondering who my husband is and what he's hiding. Who are you? We don't know nothing about you. There go that Linwood girl. I knew she was going to come out sooner or later. Lindy's not going to want no parts of the Linwood girls, Stacia from Linwood. I'm telling you. Lindy, you better leave Stacia alone, because she will eat you alive. Lindy can barely handle Miguel right now. She definitely don't want no part of Stacia from Linwood, because she will get eaten alive. In fact, to be honest with you, when that little part happened, when Nate was over there bragging about how he was going to move into Stacia's brand new house, that's another transparent moment. Then if you were really a con man, you wouldn't even say it like that. Nate was so ecstatic about moving into, as he said, from scratch, brand new Stacia's home. He was bragging on it. And did you see Miguel and Lindy's face? They had their faces all scrunched up. They didn't like it. And then Lindy was over there talking about, you hit the lotto. You hit the lotto. Let me tell you something. I sensed a little bit of jealousy from Lindy with Stacia. I'm going to tell you right now. I'm going to keep an eye on it. But I sensed some jealousy on Lindy's part from Stacia. Because Nate was definitely bragging on his wife. He was saying more the fact that not that he's coming up, he was bragging on the fact that his wife was building a brand new home from scratch. And you know who picked up on it? Mitch the Itch. He said, so basically saying your wife is building you a house. There's another man who doesn't care how he looks. He said he called it out, and Nate was laughing because you know what? He agreed with it. Nate was bragging on Stacia. And here Lindy is over here with her husband telling her that he may not even want to love her after 8 weeks, and also complaining about all her student loan debt. And now she's sitting over here against a woman that is a smart, beautiful, educated, no student loan debt, and tons of property and financial stability. These are something that a lot of these men on this show were asking for. Miguel was asking, didn't want no woman with no student loan debt. Now we hear Ben didn't want it either. And here you have Stacia sitting over here. And I think it made Lindy jealous. I do, because when Lindy and Miguel went back to that room, she was like, we the only ones being real over here. Girl, now I'm going to make a video on Lindy and Miguel, so make sure you watch that. I don't want to get too much into it right now, but I'm seeing some signs about Lindy. Lindy was jealous of Stacia that day. And too bad, because Stacia said, don't come for my man, don't come for me unless I send for you. But Stacia revealed some things of some insecurity she has. She is wondering if Nate is not being real or if he is being fake, because she's still trying to figure him out. She's almost saying like, like, this is too good to be true. What's in front of me is too big good to be true. It's what I've wanted all my life. I've worked so hard to get here, and all of a sudden it's in front of me, and now she's afraid. She's not trusting it. That's how a lot of people are. You know, you want something so badly, and then when it comes to you, you don't trust it. You're afraid. I hope that Stacia doesn't let her fear stop her from diving full in. I hope she goes full in. It's what I talked about before, that people who have walls up, they say they're strong, but actually they're more fearful people. They're not as courageous as people who just let it hang out. I hope she goes in, she dives in. I think she's afraid that when the real Stacia comes out, or that other part of Stacia comes back out when they get back to San Diego, will Nate be able to handle her? Will Nate be able to handle that assertive Stacia where she holds people accountable and some things come out her mouth that may not be so nice? Can she contain it enough that she doesn't turn off Nate? I think she's really afraid of that. She's probably only revealed to Nate a small portion of what she has, because she's afraid to reveal everything, because she doesn't want to intimidate him, because she thinks she intimidates men. I told you before, men aren't intimidated by your wealth, Stacia. And even Nate says, I'm not intimidated by you. She doesn't believe it, because she's been thinking all these years that men are intimidated by her. It's not intimidation. It's when you lead with it. It's when it's what you put up front. And she has been so used to wearing her wealth and her accomplishments on the outside. She thinks it's intimidation when men turn away, but it's actually that the men are turned off by it. And what she's done differently this time is that she hasn't led with that. She really hasn't talked about it a lot, and it's actually allowed Nate a chance to actually fall in love and start falling in love with her. Now she's saying, what happens when I do start revealing that side? Typically she led with it. This time she didn't, and she got a man who's falling in love with her. Now she's afraid that when she starts to introduce it, will he be like the others? Will he run away? Will he be intimidated? First of all, he won't be intimidated if you don't use it like a billy club. If you use your wealth and your accomplishments like a billy club, it's not intimidation. People just don't like it. If she doesn't use it that way, there won't be any of those running away from you, Stacia. He will go closer to you, because actually when Nate has said he loves this idea of them being a power couple, it is sexy to him. It is intriguing to him. But if you use it as a billy club, then it won't be sexy and it won't be intriguing. I do hope Stacia can keep it together, because I think if she can keep it together, and she can still respect Nate, and she doesn't use her wealth, accomplishments, and everything else as a billy club, I think these two can make it. I think they have a strong chance. And I really do believe that I'm out of that corner where I'm thinking Nate is a fake Louis Vuitton selling person. And I just think that he's just this person who has always wanted to have wealth and be well-to-do, but he was just what he said. He was on the wrong path, and now he is course corrected. So I'm still high on these two, but be sure to watch my other videos on the other couples as I upload them. If you see the link here now, that means I've already uploaded them. If you don't see the link, then give it an hour or whatever else and come back, or subscribe, and then you'll get the alert of when I upload it. All right, talk to y'all later. Bye.